Let's take a moment for a quick conceptual aside. Angular 1, Angular 2, React, and more. Because I don't want you to get the wrong idea about the mean stack, about Angular, or about any of the front end, that is to say the client-side frameworks that exist and are popular out there today. It's important to remember what this JavaScript is doing and where it's running. When we talk about Angular, when we talk about React, we're talking generally about JavaScript that's running in the browser. And again, that's just some HTML, and there's some script. The HTML is converted into the DOM, and the DOM is just a tree-like structure in memory. And then there's some JavaScript running inside the JavaScript engine, also embedded in the browser, that can manipulate the DOM. Now, when we talk about Angular, the 1-point-something version, like we're using for our examples here, there's React.js from Facebook, which is very popular. There's Angular 2, which at the recording of this particular lecture is coming still, plus others like Ember and Backbone. There's something very important to remember. It's all just JavaScript. Angular is just JavaScript. React is just JavaScript. Angular 2 is just JavaScript. Backbone, Ember, all of these frameworks that people talk about and use, they're not adding anything to the JavaScript engine. They're not adding anything to the browser. They're just JavaScript code that other people have written for you, and they're just using what the browser and the JavaScript engine make available to JavaScript. And this is important because we're talking about the mean stack, which is a very popular stack, but it's not the only stack you have to use. It's not like for some reason Angular works best with Node. Angular is just JavaScript running in the browser. So you could use any other JavaScript framework or not even use a JavaScript framework. Just write JavaScript in the browser yourself, and that's just fine. So the mean stack is not somehow inherently connected to each other as far as these different technologies are concerned. And I also don't want you to get a mistaken mental model. Node.js has a bunch of JavaScript code that's written for you and C++ code that gives you more features to the language. Angular, React, these others designed for the client, for the front end, don't do that. They're just JavaScript code written so that you don't have to write as much. All right, I hope that's clear. And understand, even though we're moving forward and talking about Angular, working with Node a bit here, that you can use any framework you want on the client side, on the front end, because it's just JavaScript.